Hello, friends. Hello, family. My name is Jerry, and today I want to talk to you about my vocal chain. Starting off with the compressor. This is the second to last thing in the chain. The last thing being, of course, the interface that goes into the computer. I don't know why I'm starting here. I don't know why I'm starting at the end. I should start at where the frequency is being controlled the most, which is the rack unit right under it, the EQ. But I thought, hey, the needle moves, it looks cool, it's pretty cool to showcase. And I got it less than like a couple weeks ago. Good amount of weeks ago, actually. But I'm still pretty new to this, and as you can see, every time I talk, the needle compresses my voice and reduces it all the way up to -2 dB, which is fine. And I don't want to speak too loud, but as I use more of my chest voice to really express what I have to say, my voice, vocal dynamics get compressed. And that's pretty fun. So I would like to toy around with this. Output gain, I'm going to leave the output gain as is. You're probably going to hear my voice get a little bit quieter as I raise the peak reduction, but that's just the nature of compression. So, right now, in order for me to really affect my voice from this distance with this microphone, with this amount of gain being added from my preamplifier, I'd have to do it at 65, which is where it's at right now. So, this is my voice with compression. Now, this is my voice without compression. It probably sounds, well, just judging from what I'm hearing inside my own cans, it does sound a little bit more intimate, lively. It does sound lively. I mean, kind of sounds all over the place if you want it to sound like that. But this is my voice without compression. And as I raise it to 30, still does nothing. And if I raise it to 50, does the needle move ever so slightly? There you go. I'm getting just the smallest amounts of compression. I'd really have to put my face up to the microphone in order to really compress this thing. Now, 55, 60, 65. There we are. There we are. 70, 80. This is oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Can you hear that? Just to compare. Just to compare. 65. This is 65. Now, this is 80. You can immediately hear my voice just get automatically quieter. Why beat around the bush? We're going to 100. Why beat around the bush? We're going to 100. So, this is 100% peak reduction. As you can hear, my voice has gotten really, really quiet. In order to combat this, I would have to raise my output gain. And I'm going to raise it, raise it, raise it, raise it, raise it, raise it up around to where I find the most comparable, comparable. But as you can hear, the noise floor has been lifted. You can hear the background, you can hear the hiss of the mic, the room as I speak. You can really hear the echo. And if I get up real close to the mic and just exaggerate this, what do you call it? The boominess, when you get the proximity effect, you can hear every crack. That's kind of weird. I kind of don't like that. I kind of don't like that at all, to be honest with you. But that's where it's at. Now I'm going to set it back to where I like it the most. 65. Pretty subtle, pretty nice. -3, not too bad. Well, it reaches up to -3, but it mostly hangs around -2 and 1, which is fine with me. And I like the way the needle bounces. It bounces so fun. And also, whenever I turn off the unit via a switch, it has a switch right on the right side. Or is it like, nice, the right side facing me. This orange hue that it has, this warm background that it has, this warm light, it darkens. It turns off completely. And when I turn it back on, it slowly turns on and gradually gets warmer and warmer until it reaches this color, which is pretty cool. I guess the next thing would be the EQ. Oh, should I talk about my experience? I guess it's pretty cool. It saves a lot of, what does it do for me? What does this optical compressor do for me? It really saves a lot of CPU usage from, putting a compressor on my vocals. I mean, a bunch of compressors on my vocals, because I like to use 3 compressors whenever I'm in the box, in the DAW, and, recording. I would usually slam like 3 just to even out the workload in between, just a little bit, -3 on that one, or -2 on that one, -3 on that one, and blah, 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 saturate on that one. That way my vocals come out smoothly. The problem with that is, this MacBook that I got, it can't handle too much. I would really need an expensive computer in order to deal with all that. So, what do? I get it right at the source. And I know having these pieces of rack equipment stacked on top of each other is pretty annoying. It's annoying to me. I really need to get like a little screw-in unit. What was I saying? Why did I get off topic? Oh yeah, my experience. It sounds cool, and as I said, trying to get it right at the source. Got myself a good preamp, a decent EQ, and now I have a decent compressor. I bought this on Facebook Marketplace off some dude who's selling it for a good amount of money. Or I mean, for good money, cheaper than than if I would have to order it online. It's fairly brand new. I did order new upgraded tubes because the stock tubes on this feel a little bit gritty. I don't know if that's just by nature, but I would like it just to be a little more cleaner so I didn't have to deal with the angst. Otherwise, it is a very cool compressor. It does what it does. It works as intended, and it's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Next up is the EQ. So, let me show you that. Alright, here we are, boys. I'm sorry if the depth of field is kind of jank. I am recording this or using my phone as a camera, and it's it's not the best thing in the world, but it does the job. I can even tell from here. It's kind of hard for you to see, but I only have 2 bands affected. This one and this one. And as I unclick them, you can hear a massive difference in my tone. Now, I wonder if I should have started with this one, because, of course, an EQ affects the tone the most. Well, as far as, I guess, gear, what really affects your tone the most is the microphone you're using, which, if I could show you at the end. I am using a Warm Audio 87 R2, but I'll talk more about that later. So why am I only using 2 bands? Oh, I forgot to mention what type of EQ this is. This is a Meyer Sound CP10 parametric equalizer. This is a pretty fun EQ. This is meant for like live sound. Meyer Sound is I did research on them, and they mostly produce speakers, live speakers for live sound. And this was supposed to be for that, to, control the dynamics of the room and EQ the room. And now I use it in my vocal chain. I came across it in like a thrift store. And it was worth $25 there. Well, when I researched it then, it was worth like $500, and I was like, ooh, I gotta take this home. It's been over like 2 years later. Now it's worth $700. And I'm like, hey, is it really like a $700 sound? I mean, I guess it is. I mean, it's hard for me to really tell, since this is like all this gear that I'm showing you. It's kind of the only gear I have, so I can't really compare and contrast because I don't have much experience. But you could just hear from your own ears what this does. Now let me explain why I'm only affecting 2 channels. Well, because that's what I decided sounds best. It's really that simple. You can even see right here, I have some of the highs rolled off, some of the lows rolled off. Low cut, high cut. Why am I using this EQ? What is it used for? Well, as I said earlier, this is used for my room correction. Cause inside this room has 0 insulation. Or I mean, it has some, but it's not a perfectly acoustic treated room. So I have to deal with what the microphone captures. In order to do that, in order to balance that, I use this EQ. And it's pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot. There's some fun stuff you can do. I don't want to, affect every band. Well, I don't want to affect these 2 main ones that I have going on right now, because those really, it doesn't matter. Let me just turn on this one. All right. Now, I'm going to set this to 120 hertz. Q I can leave. This is the boost. Now, as you can hear, I am boosting the low end by a heck of a ton. And if you can hear, you can probably see the needle up on top. If you can notice the needle's moving crazy. It has to compress more because the bass of my voice is just that exaggerated, so it has to deal with that. And that's me turning it off. Turn it back on. It's so cool. I like it. And it's very surgical. It's not a drastic sound. I mean, it is drastic, but how do I explain this? It's not harsh, or maybe it is harsh. Maybe I'm just blinded by my own bias. But if you can, oh, I dropped my phone. Anyways, as I was saying, it's not that bad. Oh my god. Okay, my phone fell twice. I don't actually have like an actual phone stand or a tripod for my phone to be held in, so I kind of have it resting on a bunch of books stacked on top of each other. Oh man, if you could see this setup, you'd be either impressed or madly disappointed, because I could just go buy a gimbal, or not a gimbal, but a tripod for my phone. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm affecting this low end. You can hear it. Engaging, disengaging. I did when I was, okay, so how do I explain this? I've been having this EQ for a good while now, but for the first year of me having it, I did not use it. Why? Well, because I didn't see a need to. And also, I didn't have the cables, I didn't have the XLRs to wire it. And I was so lazy. And I was like, I don't care about hardware. I just got it because the price was good. $25 for this $500 item, quote unquote. I was like, man, I gotta have it. One day I'll use it. And well, that day has come. And it's very useful. But when I first turned it on, it didn't work. And I thought, frick, I should have plugged it in when I had it. I should have used it. I should have this. I bought a lemon. I was like, But a couple disconnects later, connect, disconnect, connect, disconnect. This green light on the corner where it says power turned on, and we were banging, baby. I mean, that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. But we were banging, baby. And it just works from now on. It needed a little bit of brush now. So I did have to take off this faceplate right here. This faceplate I did have to take off. And when I peeked into the corners of its hardware, of its mind, I got to spy with my little eye a bunch of individual cards. I don't know what I was expecting to see, to be honest. Looking inside gear is pretty crazy because it is just a bunch of circuits and boards, It's nothing wild, but it was interesting to see that everything was just an individual card, which makes sense because if you ever look at like a 500 rack unit, it's just a card. It's just a card that you slot into your 500 series, and boom, it works. Didn't expect to see that, but it was really cool to see. Let me turn on 200 to 2K. As you can see, let me turn this back up to 0. As you can see, where do I have it affected? At 800. Let me go to 1.2. Why not? This is cutting 1.2. This is boosting 1.2. Now it sounds like a telephone call. I love you. And I miss you. Wait, what can I do to make this sound more like a telephone call? Well, I know. Let me grab this high cut. Let me boost it up just a little bit more, or cut just a little bit more. And maybe this low cut, I cut all the way, and maybe it's just us now. Hello, I'm under the water. Crap, I forgot where shit. See, that's the thing with hardware, is I don't remember where the set, I don't remember where I set it at beforehand. So I kind of have to remember and guess and hear it out with my headphones. Because with a preset, with a plugin, you can just make a preset and it'll always be that because you can make it that way. But I tend to forget just out of habit, just out of pure habit and pure ignorance. Dude, it's so cool making that switch. I don't know. I always like it. I always like hearing drastic changes like that. Because, oh, did it not work? Am I crazy? Hello? Oh, no, it works. It just took a second to kick in. Hello. Hola, hola, mi amor. Amor, amor, amor. Amor, amor, amor. ¿Cómo te voy a olvidar? ¿Cómo te voy a olvidar? Oh, should I move on? I technically only have one other item left. Here, I have not gone through everything. Let me give myself some freaking air. Let me go up to 2K. Let me freaking open up this, let me open it up. Open up the queue. And let me boost. Let me find where I belong. There we go. Which is around like 12K. You can actively hear this. Oh my god. It sucks booty. And you can hear my S's, my plosives, my sounds. If I just flatten out this high cut, you can clearly hear. This sucks. I hate it. I hate it a lot. I hate you. I love you. I've been in love with you for the past 7 years, and every time I go to sleep at night, I think of everything I did wrong, and I beat myself up for it. I hate myself for it, and I just can't stop thinking of you. I mean, you're gonna get touched. See, this is what happens, bro. I can't do a normal review. I get too lost in the sauce. I try to be professional. I try to be Mr. Oh crap, I'm gonna drop my phone again. I can't even do this right. Oh my god. Okay, anyways, let's move on. This, my friends, my homies, my pals, my loved ones. This is a Camden Cranborne Audio EC1. It's a microphone preamp or instrument preamp or just a preamp. I love this thing. This device, piece of gear, is what kind of transpired and, transcended my love for gear, because I wasn't really looking into it for the longest time. It was just a microphone and this SSL. And I was like, yo, that's good enough. This is solid. I don't need nothing else. I'm goated. And then I started looking up ways to make my sound better, sound cleaner, sound nicer. Everybody said, get yourself a preamp. What kind of preamp? So I was like, hey, let me look around for preamps. And so I got niche with it. Really what happened is I went on YouTube and I was looking up reviews for this solid state Logic SSL, and I was in the comments and I read a comment that said, yo, this preamp paired with this interface will make your mic sound like $1,000 rig. And I was like, yo, dead us, bro, I gotta have it. And then I saw this thing was like $500, and I was like, ooh, yeah, I gotta have it. And so I got it. And for the longest time, it was just my microphone, my preamp, and my SSL2 Plus. And then I thought, hey, it's too clean. I need an EQ. And then I got the EQ. Here we have different modes. Really, this is what affects tone on this device, is this Mojo circuit. Mojo style. Right now I have it set on cream, because if I had it set on thump, it brings out the low end in my voice. As I turn it up all the way, it is said to emulate a transformer, and the cream is set to emulate more of a tube circuit. You could probably hear it once I switch it up. You can hear the saturation and harmonic distortion in my voice because it's emulating a tube. It's all circuits. It doesn't have an actual tube, but it does a very good emulation of it. That's why I like it. It's so clean. It is very clean. It's very clean. I like to use thump a lot on bass because maybe it's not noticeable here because I have the low cut. Here, let me just go back to the low cut, and here we are. Okay, now, if you have a good pair of headphones or a good pair of speakers, or maybe you're in a car listening to my sultry voice, then maybe you could pick up on the things that I'm saying and speaking to you. That sounds very demeaning and belittling. I don't know why I said it that way. I'm sorry. I'm in love with you. I've been in love with you for the past 7 years, and I've just been so scared to say it because it would ruin everything we've built. And I know it's not right, but I can't think of anything else. Every time I go to sleep, every time I wake up, it's you. It's you. And I just can't do it anymore. Tell me you love me. Tell me you hate me. Tell me you want me. Tell me you don't want me. Tell me something, but I just can't stand being next to you, but not actually being with you. Damn, that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard. I can't stand being next. I can't. What the fuck did I say? I can't stand being next to you, but not actually being with you. That's kind of a bar. Anyways, as I was saying, here, let me switch it up. Not as bassy, but here, look. Let me give a more accurate representation. It's off. Now, you can hear my bass in my voice. Not that punchy. Not that, bassy. Let me turn it up. All the way, super bassy. You could probably hear it as I start to turn it down. There you go. It does make a difference. I like it a lot. That's where it was originally. Camden, Cranborne Audio, EC1. And I guess let me show you my mic. This is a, here we are. This is a Wah 87 R2, as I said before. It's a cool looking mic. I did drop it a bunch, so it's not as, probably not as good as it was when I first got it, but it does sound still very clean. All this together, it is like a good amount of money that you'd have to spend, that I did spend, except for the EQ. The EQ was a steal. But combined, it's still a good amount of money, but compared to, like, I don't know, a $10,000 rig, it does its job, it does its job. And for what I have, it's not that bad. I'm sure I could do better. I'm sure there's other things I could do in order to make it sound cleaner, maybe a better mic ultimately, maybe an acoustically treated room. But for now, I think this is all right. Well, that was it, my friends. Thank you for hanging with me. Thank you for listening to me. And thank you for being alive. Like I said, I'm Jerry. I'm in love with you. Bye-bye.